Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the mid-year book Freakout tag. I'm checking in with how much I've been reading so far, how much I still have to read this year to hit my goals. Luckily, I'm at I think 36 books out of 50 was my goal, so I'll likely hit that. So I'm not really freaking out yet, but I like to be under pressure. I'll probably increase to 50 books that I was hoping to read this year, maybe to like 60-ish, and hope I hit that, which I guess we'll see. So today, I guess I'll start off by saying what I am drinking. It is a West Coast IPA from Bottle Logic out of Anaheim, California. It's called Order of Combat and has some pretty cool art. I usually drink hazy IPAs, but this is really good for a West Coast from the sip I had already, so yeah, it's very good. Highly recommend Bottle Logic if it's in your area. I know they're in California and you can get it in Arizona too. So I'm not sure what they distribute nationally. So yeah, let's get into it. So the first question is, what is the best book you've read so far this year? And I would have to say I came unprepared to this, I guess. So let me find the book. Okay, we're off to a bad start. I think if I had to pick one book that's my favorite this year, it is Real Life. I just mentioned this in my BookTube movie tag video, which I kind of give an introduction to the books that I've loved so far this year in 2020. But I think this one has to be my favorite. It's about a young gay graduate student, but it kind of tracks his 3-day weekend in which he has various encounters with some friends. You know, it kind of brings back some trauma from his childhood, and it's just him grappling with himself and race and I don't know, Brandon Taylor packed so much into this book, and I was just blown away that this is a debut novel. He's highly skilled, clearly, and I'll read anything that he puts out going forward. I highly recommend this book. It's been all over BookTube and Bookstagram, and so you've probably heard of this one if not read it already, but I highly recommend it. Plus, the size of this book, it's so cute. I have this thing where, like, with hardcovers, if it's small and, like, I don't know, it's just like the perfect size when I'm reading it. It makes me like enjoy the book a little bit more. And the font's very nice and cute, so yeah, highly recommend this one. I have to also mention Ottessa Moshfegh's new book, Death in Her Hands. This was just released this week. I think this was probably the most fun I've had reading a book this year. It's basically a murder mystery in which an older woman, she's 72 years old, she's going on a walk in the woods with her dog, Charlie, and she comes across this note next to a tree that says, "Her name was Magda. Nobody will ever know who killed her. It wasn't me. Here is her dead body." And she's confused because there's no body anywhere to be found. And so after she kind of tries to figure out who murdered this person, Magda, even though there's no evidence of it. And so you kind of track her delusions and her, attempt to try to solve this as, an isolated woman by herself, just with her dog. And she tries to figure out what happened. Going any further would do the book a disservice, but I was completely blown away with, Ottessa Moshfegh kind of tackling a murder mystery. And it's not really a murder mystery, it's Ottessa Moshfegh, so it's going to be a trip. And so I just really love this one. This one's super fun to read, and I'm still trying to unpack the ending. I don't really know exactly what happened, but I know I loved it. And so, yeah, I highly recommend trying this one. I don't think this one's for everyone, but I think you should give it a shot because I thought it was just incredible. The second question is, best sequel you've read so far this year? I don't think I've read any sequels, so I'm gonna have to skip this one. Question number 3 is a new release you haven't read yet but want to. So I have 2 for this one. The first one is A Burning by Megha Majumdar. I don't know if I said her name right, but she's a debut author, and I've only heard really good things about this. I don't know too much about it, but I know it's told from 3 perspectives and it's kind of intertwined, and I usually like novels that do that. So I'm really looking forward to this one. And another is a nonfiction book. It's called The Deviant's War by Eric Cervini. It's an LGBTQ nonfiction book that I've really been looking forward to. It's pretty big, so it'll be a little daunting, but I'm really looking forward to this one as well. I haven't really read too much nonfiction this year, and it's Pride Month, so I'm hoping to start this one very soon. Question number 4 is most anticipated release for the second half of the year, and I think that would have to be Transcendent Kingdom by Gyasi. Don't think I said her name right, maybe I did. I have been really wanting to read Homegoing. I haven't even read her first book yet, but I've only heard amazing things about Homegoing, and so that's coming soon on my TBR. And I've only heard great things about her second book as well. I think I've read some people said it's even better than her first. So I'm really looking forward to that one. I believe it releases in September, so keep an eye out for that one. Question number 5 is biggest disappointment, and funny enough, it would have to be The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt, but that's not really a negative to this book. My favorite book probably of all time is The Secret History, and so I was super excited to read this book, but I kept putting it off because I didn't think it would live up to the expectations I had because of The Secret History, and I was right. I gave this one a 4-star. I thought it was a tad bit too long. I didn't, connect with the story as much as I did with The Secret History. I kind of liked the more like murder mystery, whodunit kind of style of her first book, but I still think this book was beautifully written, and the story is very Dickensian, and I highly recommend it still. It just was a disappointment to the extent that I was hoping for another The Secret History, and I don't know, I didn't like it quite as much as that book, but I still really like this one. So I guess if I had to pick a disappointment, it'd be The Goldfinch. Question number 6 is biggest surprise of 2020, and I think that would have to be Trick Mirror by Tolentino. I don't usually read a lot of nonfiction and definitely not too many essay collections, but I found that I was completely blown away by this collection. It's 9 essays discussing self-delusion in the internet age, how it kind of affects basically our perceptions of ourselves, and she looks at 9 different subjects throughout this book, and I just thought her writing is incredible. She writes for The New Yorker, and she's also incredible there as well. So I would check out maybe an essay on The New Yorker or something. If you like her writing style, she's witty and funny, but also insanely intelligent. I would recommend checking this one out too. Question number 7, favorite new author. I think my favorite new author would have to be Ottessa Moshfegh. All of her books are over here. I guess I'll just pull one. The first book I read by her was My Year of Rest and Relaxation, and I knew right away that there was something special about her work. I think she writes in a really interesting style of being, darkly funny, but also her books are usually quite depressing and heavy, but she balances it really well and has some really critical insights, and it's just so easy to read. I recommend checking her out too. I think I'm gonna do a separate video on Ottessa Moshfegh, kind of discussing all of her books. I'm currently reading her short story collection, Homesick for Another World, and then I have to read her novella, McGlue, and then I'll have read everything she put out so far. And then I'll, hopefully have some analysis or something, discuss all of her books and kind of rank them and stuff. So that'll be coming down the pipeline shortly. Question number 8 is newest fictional crush. I don't think I had any fictional crushes this year. I think like the most recent one I can think of was Red, White, and Royal Blue, Alex and Henry, of course. That book is, cheesy in the best way, and I love both those characters, but that was in 2019. So yeah, this year I haven't really had any crushes, I guess. Question number 9, newest favorite character. I would have to say that would be Boris from The Goldfinch. I think he's one of the most well-realized characters I've ever read. I really feel like I've met Boris at this point after reading this book. It's so long and you get to spend so much time with him, especially like in the Vegas part of the story. It takes up a good chunk of like the first half of it. I also listened to the audiobook, and the narrator is amazing, and so I kind of feel like I've heard him speak now, and just so I thought he was a great character. And I know many people think that Boris is kind of like the star of this book, and I definitely agree. Yeah, he definitely made this book for me, so I think he's probably my favorite new character. Question number 10 is a book that made you cry. Most recently, it was Emma Straub's All Adults Here. There's a really beautiful ending scene in which a trans character kind of has her moment on the top of a school float, and it's like her first like coming out to like her peers and everything, and they're all very welcoming, and it was just heartwarming, and I got teary-eyed. Yeah. Question number 11 is a book that made you happy. That would have to be Wow, No Thank You by Samantha Irby. I listened to this one on an audiobook, and Samantha Irby narrates, and it was just laugh out loud funny. Essays are insanely funny and short, and she's very, to the point, and I just loved her insights on everything. She's very, self-deprecating, but she also kind of uses that self-deprecation to highlight something about herself or life or something, and I just thought she was really good at doing that. I highly recommend it. I can't wait to read her first 2 books too. I haven't read those yet, so I'll definitely be reading those this year. I'll probably listen to them because I like hearing her speak. Question number 12 is most beautiful book you've bought so far this year or received. Probably my favorite that I have this year is Dune. Haven't read this one. I want to because the new movie's coming out with Timothée Chalamet, and so I want to read this before the movie comes out. But it's really cool because it has this really amazing cover, but also the edges are blue. Yeah, I just really like it. And I'm hoping I actually like this book because it was kind of expensive and I just bought it on a whim. So hopefully I like it, so it'll make a good addition to the shelves, but at least it's pretty. So even if I don't like it, I guess it'll look nice. Question number 13, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? I have so many, but I guess I'll just go through a couple that I definitely 100% will read this year. And so those books are How Much of These Hills is Gold by C-Pan Zhang. I'm reading this for a book club for next month, and so I'll definitely read this. Yeah, I think this one will be good. I really want to read Girl, Woman, Other. I've had this on my shelf I think since like December or something, and it won the Booker, and it's been highly recommended this month, and this is one that I really want to read. It's an intersecting story of I believe 12 Black women in the UK, I believe. I really think this will be a standout book for me. I've only seen like insanely rave reviews, so I can't imagine myself not liking it. So I'll definitely read this one soon. Another one is Her Body and Other Parties by Carmen Machado. I already started this one. I read the first 2 stories, and it's so good. It's basically like queer horror short stories, which is absolutely my thing. It's so great so far, and I loved her memoir, In the Dream House, and so I am working my way through this one. I tend to read short story collections kind of slowly. I just kind of take them one story at a time. Sometimes I'll shelve them for a while and come back. So I think I'll read this one kind of quicker because I'm really into it, and I want to see what she does with some other stories, but this one's definitely going to be read by me this year. Oh, and one more book that I don't know if I'm actually going to read it this year, but I'm sick of looking at it, and it's Ducks Newburyport by Lucy Ellmann. This one was shortlisted for the Booker. I bought it a while ago, and it's been on my shelf, but I can't seem to get myself to sit down and read it because, in case you don't know what this book is, it's basically like a 1,000-page stream of consciousness nightmare, I guess. It seems very long, but it also seems great. I think I want to check it out. I heard it's like kind of like the Ulysses of today. I want to like read this and to be able to say I did it. I don't know if I'll actually get to it this year, but I'm gonna try my best. No promises. I don't like reading the Goldfinch recently was super hard for me, and that was way shorter than this book is, so I don't know, but I have to read this book. It's been on my shelf, so we'll see, I guess. Thank you for tuning in today and watching my video. I hope you enjoyed this. I still have a ton of reading to do this year. I tend to, say I'm gonna read certain books and don't. My TBR is always fluctuating, so who knows what I'm up reading, but hopefully I can hit at least 60 books this year. I think next year I'm gonna make a 75 book goal. It sounds crazy, but I think I'm gonna do it. Until next time, thanks for tuning in, and cheers.